Hey guys, my name is Chantel. Welcome back to my channel and thanks for hanging out with me today. So today we're going to talk about the second to last final chapter of Haikyu. Before I get into talking about this week's chapter, I do want to mention that there is an interview with the characters that someone already did translate. So if you guys are interested in seeing that interview, because you guys need to see that interview, like read it because it is the best thing I have ever read. It's basically with Hinata, Kageyama, Ujishima, and Bokuto all together and just answering some questions and stuff like that. It's like the best thing I have ever seen and you guys will not regret reading it. So if you guys don't know about it or haven't read it, I will put a link down below to the translation that someone did. And yeah, so without further ado, just like last week's video, I'm going to do my makeup while talking about this week's chapter, and I hope you guys enjoy. So with that being said, let's get this video rolling. So, we finally got official confirmation that Haikyu is for sure definitely ending next week. And I don't know how to feel about that. I can't believe the end for Haikyu is within less than a week. And I don't know how to feel about that. I have like a bunch of emotions going through me. But anywho, I really don't want to get sappy right now, right this second, as I'm like trying to start this video. So I'm going to stop there, but I'm definitely going to be, basically next week, I'll do just a video letting out my thoughts, how I feel about Haikyu ending and like the whole journey itself, and you know, so on and so forth. So I hope you guys are looking forward to that video because I feel like I just need to have like a proper goodbye to Haikyu next week, like just for myself, I guess. So yeah, I guess look forward to that. Anywho, enough about the sappy stuff. Let's just get right into this week's chapter because I have a lot of thoughts. That was a lot to take in. So let's talk about the color pages first, because that color page, like it hit me so hard. I think it hit everybody really hard just seeing it. Basically, this color page starts off with us getting a little bit of a flashback to the moment where Hinata and Kageyama are first like battling it out with each other, and then you flip to the next page and you see them all grown up in the same exact positions, and it's just I needed a little bit of a moment there because my emotions were just already off the roof. This color page is definitely gonna end up being one of my favorites for sure. I have a few favorites, but this one definitely makes it in the top spot for sure, no questions asked. And then shortly after, we basically kind of get on with the last few minutes of this match, and let me tell you, when Hinata goes in for the ball and Kageyama blocks it, I was just like, oh, Kageyama like got him, you know, the Adlers are gonna take this. Nope, I should have known better. I should have trusted my sweet baby boy Hinata, my sunshine boy, because he came through. I cannot believe he pulled that move. Like then again, it's Hinata, he has done similar things in the past, so I'm like, of course, like what, this is Hinata, what did I expect? But basically he saves the ball with his foot, and in that instant I'm just like, what? I was super happy Hinata saved it. I was like, oh my gosh, yes, the ball is still in the air, they can still go at it. And of course, like Hinata's like rushing to one side of the court, and then Atsuma's getting ready to give the ball to somebody, and I honestly thought Atsuma was gonna give the ball to Hinata. And no, he doesn't give it to Hinata. He ends up giving it to Bokuto, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like Hinata ended up being such a perfect decoy in this very moment, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm so proud of my precious boy. He is truly the strongest decoy. He's living up to his name, the name that Kageyama gave him. And it's just and then seeing how when Kageyama realizes that Atsuma was gonna give it to Bokuto, he was like, well shit, I should have seen that coming, I should have known better. Which basically causes them to win the whole match, and I was just so happy because Hinata finally fulfilled his promise that he made to Kageyama, saying that he was gonna beat him someday. Like, that promise is officially fulfilled. And this is when I started tearing up a little bit, like just knowing that and knowing how far Hinata has come over the years and just seeing his journey up until now. It's just so satisfying to see. Seeing him get this moment and just, like, it's so great and just overall really, really satisfying. And I just love how we get a little bit of a flashback to Kageyama's words where he said, well, I'll be going now. And then we basically see Kageyama saying, you know, you're here now. And then Hinata's like, yeah, here I am. And this is when things start to get even more emotional as the chapter goes on. When Yachi's like, oh, like, it's over. And then we have Tsukishima saying, you know, it's far from over. We have a ton of games. And I'm just like, baby boy, if only you knew the reality of us manga readers right now. We won't be seeing those matches. I wish, but we won't. Which then leads up to the next and probably like the most wholesome, cutest thing ever in this chapter, which was when Romero talks to Hinata in Portuguese and introduces him to his son, because his son is like such a huge fan of Ninja Shoujo, and it's like the most precious thing ever. Hinata's like talking in Portuguese to him, and it's just like, it's so cute. Like, Hinata already has a fan and someone that already like really looks up to him, and I'm just like, oh, my eyes are getting really watery. And once again, after this, we go back into super emotional mode. Because then we have Tenma basically say how his manga that he's doing right now is fixing to end. It almost felt like Furudate was just trying to comfort us in some way, knowing that Haikyu was gonna end, you know, with Tenma. But basically what happens is Tenma is like, hey, I have an idea. We need to start doing research. And like, he seems like super motivated and excited. And I'm like, in this instant, I'm like, oh my gosh, I swear to God, if he gets inspiration from Hinata to start like a manga about volleyball, I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna lose it. Like, already we have the fandom. Like, this is like a thing ongoing in the fandom. How basically we believe that Furudate self-inserted himself as Tenma. And I really believe that now more than ever, because it's just like, there's just too many coincidences now at this point. It's just like, how can that not be Furudate himself? Like, it's just, there's just too many coincidences and connections there. Like, I don't know, which is really interesting to think about. But going back to what I was saying with Tenma's words, and I have it pulled up because I want to read it to you guys word for word. Actually, it wasn't Tenma's words, but Akashi's words that he said this. And he says, knowing that an end must come is all the more reason to begin anew. Let's keep giving it our very best. Seeing those words really, really stuck with me, especially I think more so since we know that Haikyu is ending next week. And it's just like, man, like, I don't know. To me, it felt like Furudate was just trying to comfort us in a way and kind of telling us like, hey, you know, you guys have other stuff to look forward to. And, you know, just, we gotta look to the future. Not only that, but we do have the anime still, and however many seasons that they're willing to do. So that's also another thing to look forward to, you know? So yeah, I don't know what else I can say about that, but yeah. After this, we do get a little bit of time with Bokuto, and I'm so happy that we do have like a little bit of time with him and Akashi. It's like the cutest thing ever, and I love how Akashi's like saying, you know, I'm impressed that you didn't, you know, go into your usual mode. And he's like, well, I'm not the same person that I was back then. Like, I'm a completely different person. I'm normal now. And I love how Akashi was like, normal? And it was so hilarious because at that time, Bokuto's like, wait, did you not see me be like as normal as I could be? Like, it was just so funny, like that whole interaction. And then like Akashi like thinks about it and he's just like, wait, my normal probably isn't the same as his normal, like his definition of it. And so like he quickly thinks about it, he's just like, oh no, yeah, you were like really normal. And it's just so funny because Tenma's just like sitting there and he's just like, what the fuck is going on right now? And it definitely felt like, you know, the old days. Akashi definitely still knows how Bokuto works, and he's just like, well, I gotta pick and choose my words carefully here because I don't know what could happen if I say something that I shouldn't. So Akashi still knows Bokuto better than anyone else, clearly. Then afterwards, oh man, we get one of my favorite parts that was just, oh, I loved it so much. It was basically with Kyoko, and everyone's just saying, oh, like, aren't you cold? Because she's like wearing her skirt, she's showing off her legs, she's not wearing any leggings. And I love how she just looks so confident. She basically says, you know, scars are a badge of honor, aren't they? And Yachi, when she hears this, she instantly thinks about that time back when they were going to nationals, you know, when they were taking a bath and how she said that to her. And it's just like, I got really teary-eyed just seeing that happen. Like, clearly Kyoko still thinks about that time very, very fondly. And you can tell it's definitely had such an impact on her all after, like, all these years have passed by. And she still thinks about Yachi's words now. Like, like, that is just so pure, precious, wholesome. And it just shows you just how much Kyoko really treasured her time at Karasuno too, and her time with Yachi, even though, you know, they didn't get to spend a whole lot of time, but still, like, they definitely shared some really great moments that she obviously cares and thinks back on and remembers very fondly. And this is the part where I was like, holy shit, what's happening here? So basically, our boy Kuro finally decided to show himself. This motherfucker, excuse my language, but this boy, this man I should say, because he's older, he was watching the whole time. He was there, we just didn't know. And right at the end of the match, he shows himself. He's like, hey, Hinata, nice to see you again. Like, I was just so happy to see him. He looks the same. He didn't really change too much. But what really caught my attention, because a lot of people thought maybe he was doing something like with science related, just because the boy he's really, really smart. But no, he's still basically connected to volleyball. He might not be out there playing, but he's there helping everyone out. But he seems to be doing well for himself and seems to be really, really happy where he's at in life, and that's all I could ask for. Anywho, it was just really, really nice to finally see Kuro and him just talking to Hinata. Afterwards, we get a moment between Kageyama and Kurumi and Kindaichi. I really, really, really thoroughly enjoyed this moment because you can tell that they definitely like patch things up and they're over like everything that happened in the past. Like all is forgiven. And Kageyama basically like calls out to them and he's like, hey, let's play again together. And they're like, what do you mean? Like, we can't be on the same level because you're like going out of the country. Like, what are we supposed to do? Like, what are you talking about? And it's really cute because Kageyama's like, well, you know, we can always play when I'm retired or when we're old and gray. Like, that was really sweet because I don't think Kunumi or Kindaichi really expected it either, and they were like, oh, okay, like for that, we're up for that. And oh, it's so cute because Kageyama gives this cute, adorable smile. It's just so sincere and just, you can tell like it really meant a lot. Like, this moment means a lot to him. And then let's talk a little bit about Hoshimi because I really like this moment with Hoshimi too. I'm gonna briefly talk about it. So he's basically talking to like the ladies, Akane, and I always forget the other girl's name, but she's the interview lady. And he's talking about Hinata. He's just like, man, he got really good. He beat me this time. And I like how the girl was like, you know, seems like he's a worthy rival. And he's like, well, yeah, but I want to stand together with him and I want to take on the world with him by my side. I was just like, that is just like the purest thing ever. So, like, just seeing how Hoshimi is just so excited to have someone who really genuinely understands the struggles of being short and everything that he's overcome. Having someone like Hinata by his side, he's just like, you know, I'm gonna support him, he gonna support me. Why not? Like, let's just take on the world and show people what we're made of so they don't underestimate us short people anymore. Like, Hoshimi and Hinata are definitely the prime example of you can do anything as long as you set your mind to it, put in the work and effort, and have passion for it, and that you genuinely love it. And if you have all those, like I said, you can do it. anything is possible. Like, don't let others bring you down or say that you can't do it because of something. Like, you can do it. Anywho, then after that we get like these really cute panels of everybody catching up, and it's just so sweet and pure. But the two like things that I want to talk about is first, Suga waiting in line to get Kageyama's autograph. I'm like, of course. Suga's always been like the one to get Kageyama to practice like his signature. And I think at one point I remember him saying how he wanted to like get his signature now before he gets famous, and how, you know, I could probably sell it for big bucks eventually. And it's just like, Suga, oh my gosh, like, I love Suga. He's so amazing. And then afterwards we have our first years from Kurasuno just catching up together, and it's just so sweet because I think that moment also like made me super teary-eyed at that point, because like seeing them catch up together, and it's just, it felt like old times when they were back in Kurasuno, but now they're older, and it's just, it made me like really, really emotional, because it's just like they're no longer kids anymore. They're grown adults carving their own paths and basically starting new chapters in their lives, and it's just, it made me like really, really emotional. And then we get another time skip to 2021, the Olympics. This was the moment I was losing myself. When I saw 2021 and I saw that it was at the Tokyo Olympics, I was like, there's no fucking way this is happening right now. There's no way. And then I looked at the next page, I screamed and yelled, and I really wish I recorded my reaction, because when I read Haikyu, I'm reading it while I'm lying down in my bed, because around that time when the chapter releases, I'm like barely waking up. Yes, I know I shouldn't be sleeping in so much like that, all the way until like 11 or 12, but your girl likes her sleep. Anyway, so when I flipped that page, I can't stress how fast I shot up from my bed. I like tossed my phone across the bed, and I was literally yelling, no way, no way, no way, no way, no way. There's no way this is happening. And I kept yelling, Furudate, what the fuck? What is happening? Furudate, you madman. I was just completely losing my shit. And if you guys know me like in real life, you know that I don't really get up that quick from my bed. But when I saw that panel, I was fully awake. I just couldn't believe it. I genuinely think that Furudate was gonna give us a little bit of an Olympics thing. Like, hear me out. The reason why I didn't think Furudate would like dive into the Olympics, even though I know Furudate wanted to do something related to the Olympics, there's no way he can squeeze in an Olympic arc in such a short amount of time. Like, I really convinced myself, and also because I didn't want to disappoint myself either if we didn't get an Olympic thing. And lo and behold, Furudate does not disappoint, and I should have known better. He's giving us a little bit of a preview for the Olympics, and I'm like, holy shit. After like my initial shock like came down, I started just bawling my eyes out. I just, like I said, I could not believe it at this point. And then seeing the numbers on Hinata and Kageyama's backs, their numbers from back when they were playing at Kurasuno. Like I said, freaking Niagara Falls at this point. Like, I still can't believe we're gonna get a little bit of time just seeing the Olympics with our Haikyu boys. Like, what the fuck? I don't know, like, I'm still in shock that this is happening. This is real life. I don't know what Furudate is gonna do. Like, we only have a few pages left. What's gonna happen? Like, I don't know. Like, what? Can y'all tell I'm just completely broken? Just even think about it. I still have to recover it from yesterday, clearly, because I cannot speak. Clearly. I can't believe we're here with the Olympics, and it's set in 2021. I still can't believe we're getting a little bit of a taste for the Olympics with Haikyu. Like, I'm speechless. I don't know how Furudate is gonna like finish it off. Like, this would have been a perfect ending, and I would have been completely satisfied if he ended it here, but he's still going a step further, and I cannot wait to see what we're gonna get for the finale of Haikyu. It's gonna be amazing. I just know it. And I guess that kind of concludes all my thoughts for this week's chapter. I know most of it was me like freaking out and like telling you guys what I really enjoyed and stuff like that, but you know, that's kind of how I always do my videos. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and take this Mickey ears off and then just do my outro. So I will be back in 3, 2. So that pretty much concludes all my thoughts for this week's chapter of Haikyu. Next week, you guys, is gonna be the last and final time I do this. Like, that's kind of sad. I know I've done them on and off, but just the amount of times that I did get to talk about Haikyu here on my channel have been like the greatest thing ever, and I regret nothing. I loved getting to talk about Haikyu of the chapters every week, whenever I could, whenever I wanted, and to see that next week's gonna be the last time makes me kind of sad now. But, you know, we still got the anime to look forward to, so yeah. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!